All right, welcome back, penny. Welcome back, penny stock billionaires. Today we're talking about what's ahead this week. We have two exciting stocks this week that I think they're going to ready to explode. They're primed to explode. Again, my opinion, not investment advice. Everything I talk about should be considered as paid content. Now, we're talking about Siyata and LTRY. We'll talk about LITM later, but Siyata and LTRY, SYTA, LTRY. Have incredible stock charts right now. And what I want to bring up actually is something which is very important. Look, a lot of people got very excited about these stocks. They exploded, right? Siyata, rocketed 700% in 7-8 days. People made 7 times the money. LTRY, it tripled in 3 days from 72 cents to 265, I believe. Hundreds of millions of shares traded in. And then all of a sudden we had a big shakeout in Siyata, and everybody panicked. Why did they panic? You know why they panicked? They didn't read the book. They didn't know what they didn't know the blueprint. They did not read the 10-bagger blueprint. If they had, they would know. They would know because they would have read my chapter called The Path to 10X. The Path to 10X, which is page 151 of the book. You can get this on Amazon. Get my newsletter. It's free. The links are in the video description or in the bio, wherever you get them. You would know on page 151, I explained the path to 10X. Every single one of our stocks that went up, 1,000%, 2,000, 5,000% or more, where people made, again, 10 times their money, 20 times the money, 50 times the money. Every single one of them followed the same exact pattern. It's a pattern. There's a reason why I call it the blueprint. It's the 10-bagger blueprint for a reason. The stocks that fit our criteria of being potential 10-baggers, we look for specific 10 specific criteria, and the stocks that meet those 10 criteria then potentially become 10-baggers. And when they do, they follow us it's like a roadmap. It's like this is a crystal ball. This is a crystal ball in your hand. And if you had read the book, then you would know. These stocks, I explained to you. Here is a preview of what you could expect on the path to 10X. Now, hold on a second. Let me just pull this up. Hang on. I'm going to pull up page 151 just so you can see this because I'm looking at my notes here. But okay, you see this? I have a little cartoon here. Everybody thinks the path to you make 100 times your money. It's just a straight line. The path to the moon. Riding a bicycle. And this is the reality. It goes up, boom. Okay, that's the reality. And this book explains to you what you can expect on the path to 10X. So what can you expect? And I say, as AC/DC says, AC/DC, the great band, it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. Okay, it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. Everybody wants to be a superstar. Everybody thinks that they get a guitar, all of a sudden they're filling up arenas. They got groupies throwing themselves at them. They're making hundreds of millions of dollars. No, it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. Same thing with stocks. So I'm going to give you some quick things, by the way, which are explained in the book. I'm going to give you just a free thing so you understand where we are right now for both of these stocks with Siyata and with LTRY, because they're exactly the same thing is happening. So number one, I'm giving you guys free stuff. You can get this in the book. We're also going to have a video course coming soon. So number one, the stock will go from hero to villain to hero and back multiple times. That will happen. Siyata was first nobody cared, then it became a hero, then it's a villain, now it's collapse. Oh my God, it's going to zero. Everybody collapsed, panic. The capitulation happened Friday, by the way. Friday, I believe, was the bottom, and you're looking at the chart. The chart tells you the tale. Okay, so now number two, you will experience extreme levels of fear near the absolute bottom and extreme levels of greed near the absolute peak. Does it sound familiar? Now, when I say absolute peak, absolute bottom, it's where we're at. Now Siyata, I believe, and LTRY also, it has not reached its absolute peak, and neither has LTRY. Right? We're still in the early stages. We're still in that 10-bagger window, the path to 10X. So the typical 10X cycle. What do you get? Stage one, anonymity. Nobody knows about these stocks. Nobody cares. Nobody knows that. Couldn't be bothered. Number two, the discovery phase, when we put them on our platform, on the Wall Street Reporter live stream, we put them all everywhere. And this is when people, they start to figure out. Some people get excited, some people put it on their watch list, some people don't care, whatever. But people start to buy. Then there is what I call the early milestone and honeymoon. And this is kind of when the company puts out some news, some milestones. And these two, the discovery and honeymoon phase, sometimes they're compressed. I say usually the discovery phase takes about 1 to 2 months. The honeymoon phase lasts 3 to, sometimes it's compressed. In the case here, it got very compressed. It happened like in a week. So that's super compressed. And by the way, that is a very positive omen, I believe, because I've never had a stock, which became a 10-bagger, which did not go bang right out. I mean, like I'll put it this way: we've never had a stock that exploded out of the gate and then crashed. We've never had that happen. Nothing that went up 500% or 300% in a week, and then 2 weeks later it's to zero or back. That's never happened. Usually they start building a consolidation phase, a pennant, and then they break out a continuation pattern. And by the way, in the book, I talk about chart analysis, which you can get. Okay, so the honeymoon phase. Then you get the first, this is very important, the first setback. So there's 2 different scenarios. Scenario A, as the stock price has climbed 300%, 500% or more. Sounds familiar? Siyata, it went from $1.30 to $9. About $5 or to $8 based on the market. Sound familiar? Yes. Okay. Based on okay. So now a lot of the early adopters, the people who got in early, they're in a position to take profits, and they're itching to lock in gains. Any slight delays, it will push them to start selling, and you can see a decline of 50% within a week or 2. At this point, at this point, a lot of people see the stock on sale, and then they start buying and start consolidating for a period of time, right? So again, everything is laid out. Now the time periods have gotten very compressed. It's happening faster. This thing could be a 10-bagger, Siyata lottery. These things could be 10-baggers super fast. Now, what about LITM? LITM is in the 10-bagger window, but it's following the more traditional path. It's going to take longer. It's probably going to be a 6-month window. Again, I'm not saying it's guaranteed. It's going. I'm just saying potentially it usually takes us about 6 to 9 months from the time we introduce a stock, which meets all the, look, why do these stocks go up 10x? Is it because, we just put them on the platform? No, I look for companies, again, if you read the book, that are at an inflection point, So the timing is everything. We look for those things where everything is lined up and it's just about to go. And if there's just a little bit more eyeballs on it, that's the catalyst. So both of these stocks, they're at the inflection point. You got with Siyata, the catalyst, the inflection point is that merger with the $80 million AI gaming company, which we talk about in other videos. With Lottery, it's the new business plan. Again, it's the relaunch and everything. The M&A pipeline, those are the catalysts. So everything, it's the inflection point. Now, number five. Okay, so we're in that phase right now with Siyata and Lottery. What's next? Then we have part 5, which we call Mainstream Mania, Highway to the Danger Zone. You want to know what that's all about? You're going to have to get the book. I'm not going to give it to you here. You got to get the book. All right. So the book is on Amazon if you want to get it. Links are in the bio. When is the merger with Core Gaming? That's the big catalyst we're looking for with Siyata, right? That's the catalyst for making this potentially a $25 stock, right? That's the whole investment thesis. It could happen. I don't want to say any day, but we're in the kind of the zone right now. It could be weeks away. We could be, originally we said 60 days. We said that 2 weeks ago. We might be faster. We might be like a couple of weeks potentially from what I'm hearing. Could be 30 days. It could be faster. I think it could be much faster than the 60 days. So nothing is guaranteed. This is all, again, the whole thesis rests on the merger. Again, both of these stocks are special situations. Now, let's go to the charts. Charts. This is the important part. This is what you need to know. I'm going to talk about Siyata first, and then we'll go to Lottery. So first, let's go into Siyata. Okay, so what happened? Again, look at this breakout. We had the first big move. That was your 700% gain. And of course, the consolidation. We gave back, I think, 70%. In other words, The stock started at $1.30, let's call it. It went to 8 and change, so $7, and we ended at $3. So that's like a 70%, 60% retracement, if I'm not mistaken. It's in that 60-70. Now, what's going on now? So we had the capitulation on Friday. Let's zoom in on this chart. This is the 1 hour chart. Now we had the capitulation. I did a couple of videos. I was on Telegram. If you guys are on our Telegram channel, get on our Telegram. By the way, we're going to be announcing a new stock Wednesday or Thursday. That could be a banger right out of the gate, just like these other 2 stocks. You want to know about it? You got to get on the Telegram channel. Links are in the bio. It's free. We don't charge anything for it. It's all free. That's where we're going to announce it. We have thousands of people in that Telegram channel. So what is going on? Look at this chart. So we had the capitulation. I said we were very close on Thursday, Friday. I said, look, we're pennies away from that bottom in Siyata, the capitulation. And sure enough, how do I know it's a bottom? How do we know it's a bottom? Because everybody was giving up. If you look at the comments people were making on TikTok, they were saying, "Oh, I lost thousands. Oh my God, I bought $8." Who are the people? Who are the people who were panicking? It's the people who paid $6 to $9. It's the guys who had FOMO, who bought it because as it was going parabolic, they didn't read the book. They didn't know that there was going to be a pullback, and they should wait maybe, right? Trees don't go to the moon, right? They don't grow to the moon or to the sky, I think is the word, right? Straight up. They follow that path. So anyway, this is what happened. We had the shakeout. And now on Friday, we hit the bottom. So here is the beautiful chart. Look at this. Now, if you were on our Telegram, you saw we announced it right here, like right around 310, 317, I believe it was on our Telegram. 317. I said, okay, this is it. This thing is ready to go, because if you looked at the 1 minute chart on Friday, okay, it's not coming up yet. Whatever. This is too much work. Okay. Anyway, this is the 5 minute, just to give you an idea. It started running right around after lunch. Right after lunch, right into the close. It broke through key algo pivot points. Again, if you look on all my posts on Telegram, all my posts on X, Twitter, Stock Twits, I had like a million posts saying, okay, these are the key numbers you want to look for. These are the numbers that will trigger the algorithms, okay? Look, the algorithms are very, very sensitive to the stock. When this stock starts hitting those key levels, those trading programs kick in, and it drives the stock bananas. I mean, this thing could have gone to $7 if they didn't have that trading halt on Friday. When these stocks break out above key level, whatever, too much action was melting down. Look, this thing on a Friday, it ran, all of a sudden it ran from the bottom was $3. It hit 430. The real breakout was over here from 350 to 430. We broke out of the moving averages. And then, of course, it pulls back. It's got to pull back. It's got to consolidate, which is beautiful. We have a beautiful setup right here. This is a beautiful, beautiful setup for Monday. Beautiful. It couldn't get any better. This could not get any better. Gerardo saying he lost a ton of money because of me. Did I push the buy and sell button? Did I tell you to buy and sell? No. Do I give buy recommendations? No. It's in the book. If you had read the book, you would have. Why didn't you buy the stock at $1.30? Why weren't you buying the stock at $1.30? He's up 38%. Gerardo, I think the problem is you got into the stocks too late. You chased them already when they were. You got to get this book. You got to read it. It's for you. I did this for. I don't need to do this book. I did it so people would know when to buy and sell, because I cannot tell you to buy. I don't give buy and sell advice. But there are signals we explain. There are signals that we discuss, the moving averages, everything else, which tells you support, resistance levels. Not my fault. Exit plans. Yes, we have a sell. Yeah, we have the exit plan. By the way, in the book, one of the things I talk about, very important. Number one is, Gerardo, you got to get in early. Do me a favor. This Wednesday or Thursday, we're going to launch a new stock. It's going to be under $1. I think this thing has explosive potential, just like these other two have big runs. It's undervalued. We have a stock that's deeply undervalued. We're going to be introducing, so it could double right out of the gate. Why? Because it's deeply undervalued. All it's missing is the eyes on the stock. When people realize it, I think it'll double. Okay. He bought which one? He bought lottery at 80. Oh, okay. You're in perfect. You got perfect in lottery. Oh, no, Mehmet. This is a different guy. Okay, this guy. All right. There you go. It's going to be on Telegram. Now, you want the links? Links are in the bio or in the bio, down on the video description below, or in the bio on where are you watching? If you're watching on Twitter, the links are in the bio for all our free newsletter and Telegram and everything else. If you're watching on YouTube, the links are in the video description. If you're watching on TikTok, it's going to be the link in the bio for all our links, newsletter, free newsletter, the book, everything. Gerard, I just said Wednesday. I said Wednesday or Thursday. By the way, to be very clear, I just want to repeat myself. Because we're releasing a new stock, it does not mean the other 3 stocks that we have are done. No, they're not done. They're in the early stages. Okay. By the way, we only work with a handful of companies at a time, but we have 1 or 2 we introduce every couple of weeks. We might have a special situation. We're going to have a special situation. Now, does the new stock could be bigger than the others? No, they all have the same possibilities of upside. By the way, Siyata, what is the possibility? I think Siyata, my thesis is still intact. $25, possibly even $50. The charts are bananas. Again, I talked about it before. I don't even want to talk about, but the charts have explosive upside potential. Again, this is a high-risk stock. It's not advice. It is paid content, everything we do here. But everything I talk about, I've explained. I wrote this 2 years ago. I wrote this book. So, it's not like I'm making this stuff up for the stock. No, look, I have a system, a framework. There's a framework. This is a system. This is not like, oh, we take any company. No, there's a framework. Each of the companies that we only bring on companies that meet 10 specific criteria that we discuss. Only companies that are at the inflection point like these are. Yeah, there's a process, a framework. This is a repetitive thing. Why do I call it the blueprint? Again, it's a blueprint. Why? Because it's a pattern that repeats itself. Every one of these stocks that we have where people make 10 times their money or more, 20 times, 50 times their money, they all follow a very similar pattern. Is it exactly, no, it's like history. History does not repeat, but it does rhyme. Things, nothing new under the sun, right? Okay, anyway, let's go back to this. So where are we for Monday and Tuesday? We are set up for, I believe, an explosive breakout in Siyata. You would know this because, again, not to push the book again, we have the pennant pattern, which isn't discussed in here. It's the continuation pattern. We're setting up for a huge breakout. We're above the moving averages. This thing would have run. It would have exploded if we just had more time. And, the after hours trading doesn't count because people already were checked out. On a Friday, they're gone. They're gone. Okay, so let's look at the charts. Now, that's the 5-minute chart. How about the 15-minute chart? Boom, we're already ramping. We're ramping. So what's my target for Siyata? I think we hit $5. Okay, that's the first target right over here. Okay, guys, write down these numbers. Get your pencils out. These are the key numbers you want to look for. These are the algo triggers. 5.30, $5.30. If Siyata breaks $5.30, the algorithms get triggered and the stock could run to $8 or more very, very fast. Why? Because that's the 200 moving average on the 15-minute chart, which they look at. Again, what's the number? $5.30. How about the 30-minute chart? Okay, we are, again, coming out of that breakout level. The number you want to watch also is $4 and let's call it $4.15. $4.30. Let's call it $4.15. Okay, 4.15. Write this down. 4.15. We break out of 4.15. It's going to go bananas. It goes to the next level. Okay. How about we go to the 1-hour chart? What's the algo there? Yeah, it's that 520 number. The 520 number, very, very important. Very important number. 520 number, very important. So you got these, those are the key levels you want to look for. How about on the 4-hour chart? Where are we in the 4-hour? On the 4, this is your 4-hour chart. What does the 4-hour chart tell you? Anybody have a guess? Anybody have a guess? Mehmet, you buy this on 10-bagger blueprint. 10-bagger, you go to 10-bagger blueprint or you go to Amazon. The links are in the video description right now. If you're watching on YouTube, in the video description, click 10-bagger blueprint or whatever. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to post the new stock on on Telegram first in audio. Why are we doing it in audio? I talked about it before, because what happens is, what we found out is these algo trading programs, these AI robots, they pick up keywords on anything that's written down. If it's written down on Instagram, and then whatever, Instagram, on Twitter or StockTwits, they grab it right away and they front run you. So if we put this on the new symbol on Twitter or StockTwits, or even Telegram, if we write it out, the robots will buy up like 1 million shares, jack up the price. It's going to run up the stock, and then they're going to dump it in your face, right? So we don't want that to happen. We don't want you to be front run. So we're going to announce it in audio first, in audio on Telegram, and they can't pick it up. And then we'll post it, a few minutes later, or as soon as possible, really, on or maybe 2 minutes later on the other platforms. But again, it's free. We have thousands of people there. It's like a public access. You can get there. The link is in the, all our links. That's it. So, okay, 4-hour chart. What does it tell us? We have an incredible, beautiful breakout setup. We got a beautiful breakout setup on the 4-hour. We found, where did the stock bottom? Where did the stock bottom on Friday? That's where you got to get the book. At the moving average on the 4-hour chart, right at the moving average, right at the which moving average is it? It's the green one, the 200. Very powerful. And then, okay, watch another algo trigger. When these lines cross over, you gotta have the golden cross. The golden cross. When does it happen? Could happen probably Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. Also on the 4-hour chart, this pattern that you see, it's called a key upside reversal day. I think they call, I forgot. It's the reversal pattern. It's the classic upside reversal pattern. If you look at the candlesticks, you know what I'm talking about, whatever they call it. I've been using candlesticks for years. The philosophy, I just don't like the way they look, but it's the same philosophy. It's the candlestick chart philosophy. Very bullish pattern right there on the 4-hour chart. So basically, guys, everything is lined up on Siyata. On this stock chart, everything is lined up in your favor right now. Again, not advice, you know all my disclaimers. But technically speaking, we got a beautiful, beautiful setup this week. Keep your eyes on Siyata. Those levels I told you, keep your eyes on those technical levels. Okay, let's go to the next stock. We're gonna wrap up. We're gonna talk about lottery. I'll talk about LITM next one, Snow Lake. I'll talk about the next one. Snow Lake is looking good, but I don't think it's ready to go this week. Snow Lake is kind of, it's still cooking. Snow Lake is cooking. Lottery is ready to go. Siyata is ready to go. Let's go to the videotape or the chart tape. Lottery. Okay, let's zoom in. Okay, I'm starting out with a 4-hour chart. We had the breakout. Right there. Boom, right above the moving averages. Okay. Consolidation phase. We're in the consolidation. Of course, it pulls back, right? It goes from 88 cents to 266. How much is that? Does anybody know math? How much is that? That's $1.70, $1.70 roughly, let's call it $1.75. So half of $1.75 is 80 something. So from 80, so we're 80 from the dollar. So we're kind of in that right now, like a 70% pullback, 60, 70, depending on what number you're counting. That's what's going on. We're consolidating. Now, this is your 1-hour chart. We're forming the pennant. What is the pennant? If you had read my book, you know what the pennant is. This is the continuation pattern. If it breaks out from here, it could go a lot higher. And again, I talk about it many times. The bigger. Let me repeat. The bigger the pennant is, the longer it extends, the bigger the breakout. Okay, again, something I talk about in 10-Bagger Blueprint. Get it on Amazon. Get the free newsletter. I'm just repeating stuff. It's like I don't make this up. It's stuff. These are laws of the universe. These are the laws of the universe, okay? If you want the crystal ball that tells you where things are going, this is your crystal ball. This book tells you everything that will happen with more or less with these stocks. Because when they're in that 10-bagger window, we have it down to a science. Is Telegram on an app? I don't know what Telegram is. It's the link. Click the link. I don't know what it is. You can get it free. It's It's on the, it's, you know, it's right there. Just go to click the link. I know somebody's going to ask this question. I mean, come on. If I had to choose, it's like, yes, Mehmet, who's your favorite child? I mean, come on. All right. So what do we got here? We got a continuation. We got a pennant forming. And now, right now, we are below, if you look, we're below the 50 moving average right here. Technically, that's a sell signal, right? But why is the stock not going down? Very interesting. Usually, you'd expect it. It held up very strong. This is very bullish. Look at this. We're forming like a double bottom. If you zoom in here, look at this. It's extending. It doesn't want to go down. That, to me, is bullish. So that drop you see on the chart, that drop where it just dropped, I think that was somebody trying to hit the stock, basically. Like, there's a lot of shorting going on, by the way. A lot. The short sellers are attacking the stock. The short sellers are attacking lottery like crazy, and there's a lot of drama with the stock. I mean, it's almost, and the shorts. I mean, by the way, exactly. I talk about all that stuff also. I talk about short attacks. I talk about all that stuff. How do you know when the short attack is real? I explain this. You know, these short reports, when they put out these short and distort reports, right here on page 158. I mean, it's almost like I'm in a time machine when I wrote this. I mean, how did I know this? Because I've seen this movie play out hundreds of times. I mean, like, literally, it's the same movie it's the same script. The characters are different or whatever. It may be different scenery. But again, right here, shorts. When is the short selling real? Because sometimes the short sellers are legit. So I said there's two types of short reports. Number one, there's, legitimate, if they uncover fraud or, legitimate, bona fide type of thing. Or you got your short and distort, number two, which is, basically guys who just want to short a stock and they put out like all sorts of BS. They throw mud. There's no substance to it. It's all just nonsense. And that's what would happen with lottery. It's the short and distort. And I explained exactly when this happens. And it's exactly what's going on. That's why you got to get the book and you got to get the course when it comes out. My course is going to launch for those people. So the stock doesn't want to go down. It's being shorted. There's going to be, I believe, an epic short squeeze at some point. Look at this. The longer this pennant extends, the bigger it can blow out. The bigger it can blow out. Let me just see something. Let me see if I can pull up. I want to show you, and I showed this many times. I've showed this many times. I showed this. Let me see if I can pull up one of our things here. I'm going to show you a chart of one of our winning stocks. So this went up 20 times. People made 20 times their money. Slide. Okay, now your computer. Okay, your computer. Oh, I can't. Okay, anyway, I did a video before of this. I can't pull it up, but PKK. Look at the Peak FinTech. Look at that. We did a couple of it. That stock had a giant, also CBDT. So PKK went 2,000% increase. It went up 20x. We introduced it at 70 cents with the split. It went to $14. Took about 9 months. CBDT from a nickel. People made 50 times their money. Went to $2.50 in 5 months or 4 months. But they all had this long extended pennant, and then it broke out from there. I think that's what's going on right now with lottery. We have an extended pennant, and it looks like it wants to break out of this pennant. Will it happen Monday or Tuesday? It sure looks like it. Look at that. We got the 5-minute chart. It wanted to do that. It wanted to go on Friday, but we just ran out of time. Look at this. This is not a stock that wants to go down. It wants to. It just, what you saw over here was shorts hitting it because they wanted to run that stop. Now let's look at the key pivots. The numbers you want to look for, the breakouts. Write these numbers down. $1.60, $1.65. Okay, pivot points. $1.76. Those are the levels. If we hit $1.60, whatever, $1.76, if we break those levels, the algos will go crazy. The stock could explode higher, much higher, very fast. Yeah, those are your levels. And then there is, yeah, $1.65, very important level. Yeah. This is a, look, this is a chart that wants to go higher. That's what this is. That is what we have right now. We have a chart that wants to go higher. Okay. If Siyata, that's right. That's right. If we don't, I remember. Okay, guys, that's it. We're wrapping up. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you guys think if you're watching this afterwards. And again, you know, you want to know where these things are going. This book, these stocks follow the same pattern. This book is like your crystal ball for the future. It tells you what's going to happen. All right. So I'll be offline next 2 days. I'll be back Wednesday. We're coming back. We're gonna have a live stream with a lottery on Wednesday, 1 o'clock, and we're gonna be announcing the new stock either Wednesday or Thursday. We're gonna announce the new stock again. It's gonna come out on Telegram. All our links are in the bio or in the video description below. And here's to your 100x.